Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. So, Judge Chutkan has spoken. Quote, Mr. Trump, like every American, has a First Amendment right to free speech. But that right is not absolute. In a criminal case such as this one, the defendant's free speech is subject to rules. Trump's lawyer said President Trump will scrupulously abide by his conditions of release. And Chutkan adopted restrictions proposed by the prosecutors that would bar Trump from publicly disclosing information from the interview transcripts and recordings from the investigation. And this is the important one, including witness interviews with investigators that took place outside of the grand jury. So Trump's lawyers tried to say, of course we wouldn't leak the grand jury testimony. But they didn't say anything about the stuff outside the grand jury. The article, and I'll post it from CNN, does discuss how Trump's lawyers are like, but our defendant might say something during a debate. Yeah, he might. He better choose his words carefully because you better not be talking about this case. The other thing that caused me a lot of amusement, and a couple of viewers will get this, for Trump's... Trump certainly is a misogynistic person. I don't think Trump supporters will argue that one. And you've got this black woman. So you got a minority woman who's got rules. All the things that Donald doesn't like. Black people, women, and rules. And just the thought that this woman in another lifetime was a dominatrix with her rules. Oh, Donald. Yeah, we're in a BDSM relationship, and we know who the M's going to be. For entertainment purposes only. And brother, I'll tell you, I'm entertained. Oh, he has no idea what's coming for him. He has none. Maybe if he watched his channel, he'd have an idea what's coming for him. But, okay. What's the energy going to be like around her ruling, or the aftermath of her ruling here? Where she basically is going to adopt the DOJ stance of protecting information. We have a celebration. A celebration of rule of law. Again, this is the benefit for all the American people. This isn't to prevent Donald Trump from running for president or being the GOP nominee or anything along those lines. This is holding him accountable in treating a very wealthy, powerful white male the same as a poor minority street kid on a burglary charge or something along those lines. You know what? Everybody's being treated the same. The law is treating people equally. Star. This woman is an absolute star. Showing what's best with the U.S. legal system, the best in a competent judge. That CNN article I had said, there'll be all sorts of comparing and contrasting between her and Eileen Cannon. And we can see which one is ruthlessly biased for Trump and which one is trying to follow the law and not putting up with any nonsense. She would do the same to Jack Smith, except for one thing. Jack Smith isn't going to try shenanigans. Trump, we know, will try shenanigans. Every dirty trick in the book is what Trump will do. She won't put up with it. So this is a celebration. She's being a star. Take heart that we've got the right judge in this case to make sure that justice is shown through. In the past, with this ruling, you have to look at the good and the bad. And her ruling does look at the good and the bad. She acknowledges that there's some things he's not going to be able to talk about on the campaign trail. But her point is that this case is going to be tried in the courtroom, not on the internet. And he's being treated like every other defendant out there. And Trump doesn't like that. And his lawyers don't like that because he's Donald Trump. He shouldn't be treated like a common person, like a regular street thug, using his favorite words. So she considered everything that went along with this. And she made her decision based on that. She also made a decision knowing exactly what he would do if he was untethered from reality. So she brought the parties together and she made a ruling. In this case, it looks like she's going to favor the DOJ, or she favored the DOJ. I don't know if she'll take all the DOJ recommendations. That story hasn't been updated yet, as far as I can tell. But she's trying to do what's best for both parties. But again, she's not going to put up with shenanigans. Two major arcana so far. Overarching energy of this situation is the Queen of Cups. She's trying to keep everything under control and the emotions in check on this trial. She's going to control when the lid comes off this cup and what information comes out with this trial when this lid's taken off. It will happen right now. She's got the lid on for the court of public opinion on social media posts. She is putting a lid on that. When it comes to the court, I'm sure the lid will come off, but for right now, the lid stays on. The lesson to be learned from keeping the lid on is the devil. She is not letting the devil loose to fly around and do what he does best, which is cause mayhem. She has not chained herself to his rights and the way he wants to do things. She's already lifted that chain off. If people want to leave their chains on, like his lawyers are, they can leave their chains on, but she is not. She's keeping the lid on the devil. Basically, she's keeping the lid on the devil. She's trying to keep things civil and agreeable, not showing bias one way or another. Now, according to Trump supporters, she's the most incredibly biased judge in the world because reasons. And the reasons are all emotional, and they're all about Donald, the narrative that this is a political witch hunt and they're just trying to keep Donald Trump from being president. No. He led a coup d'etat. Get over it. Outcome, Knight of Swords. She is going to react, like in this case, where they were discussing this information. She's reacting quickly and swiftly. This whole case is built for speed, and she's up to the task of moving at speed with this case. She has no problem making a quick ruling. Underneath it all is the Fool. This is, excuse me. This is a new journey. This is a new beginning. This case is unlike any case that we've seen in the United States, certainly in our lifetime. And I don't think we even had cases like this in the Civil War. Or else we would have been hearing about those comparisons back on January 6th. So I don't think we've ever experienced something like this. We got 4 major arcana on that one. Yeah. So long and short, she's going to keep a lid on this thing, and Trump's just going to have to try to not talk about the case. His lawyers are trying so hard to get loose restrictions. Like he's debating Mike Pence, and Mike Pence brings up something about the case. Well, he's just going to have to work around it, isn't he? What if he's at a rally and he just happens to say something about the case that he knows from his memory that doesn't come from the grand jury testimony? Well, he's just going to have to consider the case. How about this? How about you don't talk about the case at your rallies so you don't have to worry about it? Oh, this woman doesn't fool around. Trump has never dealt with an angry black woman. I'm not saying she's angry, but he's never dealt with one. He doesn't know what kind of trouble he's in. He has no freaking clue the world of hurt that he's about to be in. I know that the mamas in the community love their babies, but man, they also using switches and stuff like that. That's some tough loving you got going on there in some households, anyways. Donald never had that. He's not had to deal with a woman like this before, ever. Enjoy it. Get the popcorn and enjoy it. He is going to be put in his place something fierce. He has no idea what he's up against. Okay. How is Trump feeling about this ruling? I mean, we don't even have to throw cards to know how he's feeling about it. Okay, there's the agreement. Trump's lawyers agreeing with the judge on this one. And our client's going to be well behaved. And, they're going to approach Trump with the offer saying, hey, this is not the best we can do. You see, you don't tell Trump this is the best you can do, because he can always tell you could have done better. He's going to say, here's why this works out well for you. That's how they have to kind of present this to him. In the past, lots of money coming in. But Trump's paying his lawyers a lot of money. You can imagine he has to pay his lawyers a lot of money. But at the same time, these are not the top-rate lawyers, so they may not be getting as much. This could be fool's gold that's going on in the past. I tend to think of this as being more fool's gold. They had to get their money up front, but this is this is the agreement. This is the value. He wants more. I paid you the big bucks. Why am I not getting what I wanted? How is Trump going to react to this? He will keep himself in check for a little bit. He's already planning on how he's going to get his social media messaging out. She's just forcing him to be a little bit more clever. I don't know how long that'll last, because being clever takes effort. And Donald doesn't exactly want to put forth a lot of effort. But I don't think he'll put the mask on. He'll say how unfair it is and stuff like that. But it won't be long, I don't think, before he figures out a way. And right now he's already trying to figure out a way to get around the rules that are being set up for him. Nobody expected anything less, right? Actually, I think what we would expect is that first thing he would do is all caps tweets within 4 hours about, this judge is crazy, needs to be removed from the case, that type of thing. And Jack Smith is vicious, thug, and la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But he might actually have to take a step back and try to be crafty. He thinks that he can figure out a strategy that will get him the victory that he needs with his base. He's plotting something. He will be plotting something with his messaging. It'll be curious to see how this comes out. I'm wondering if he's going to try and appeal this to the Supreme Court. And Trump knows he has six conservative judges on the Supreme Court. He may be trying to get it up to the Supreme Court, or he's thinking he's got himself in a good position, maybe to get the judge to recuse herself. There's something here. Either he feels like he's in a good position, and I always view these cups as like the 9 cups, like being the Supreme Court justices or a Court of Appeals justices or something along those lines. He's got some plan that he thinks he's going to be able to enact that's going to help him get to victory. Maybe he even thinks he'll win the case and get elected president, and then this whole thing goes away. But underneath it all is the Empress. Okay, so to me, this messaging that from his lawyers, we made this agreement, you got a new message. He's going to try and take down the judge in this case. He's got maybe some dirt or something along those lines that he's planning on using to try and get this woman removed from the case. I think that's what he's got. And maybe that explains this. He's been sitting on this information for a while, but it's fake. It's false. This is fool's gold. He thinks he's got something big on her, and he doesn't. And he's just trying to decide when to use it. And when he does, he's for sure going to have a victory on it. And I don't think he's going to get that victory. So, I didn't see that coming. And I could be totally, completely, and utterly wrong with that one. But if we do find out that Donald Trump is suing to have her removed from the case and that he's got some kompromat on her, well, you heard it here first, because I heard it here first, because I haven't heard anybody talking about that. Now, again, I could be completely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Me and Ginny Thomas can be on the breakfast cereal train together. But if not, hey, we'll see. I'll be really curious to see if that pans out, because I was not expecting to see anything like that. I did not have blackmail on the January 6th judge on my bingo card here. And pardon me, I was just about to say, I got my first cold for the first time in over 4 years, probably on my flight back from Canada, despite being masked in the airports and on the plane. So far, it appears just to be a head cold. I've had 2 COVID tests, the antigen tests that were negative. I had the PCR test done yesterday, and still am awaiting those results. I don't think it's going to come back positive, because I'm feeling better. What you got now is just the cough, the leftover cough from it. But okay, so seems like Trump has got something up his sleeve that he wants to use. Let's see if we can dig further on that one, because now I'm curious. Right, I could just leave that, but let's find out. What does he have? What does he think he has on on Judge Chutkan? Knight of Cups. Somebody who's a false friend came forward with information to him. This is, I told you, it was that Ace of Pentacles. He thinks it's really valuable, like the Hunter Biden stuff, but it's fake, because the person who brought it to him was fake. It was presented as something that will help him win his legal battles against the Queen of Wands. So this would be the judge. It was going to be against her. Is it money related? It's going to have something to do with money. That it'd be like insider trading, or who's funding her, or something along those lines. It looks like it's going to be financial related. And oh yeah, it's going to be financial related. The overarching energy is that this person's just, they're just, this is like a QAnon person. This person just super crazy. They don't know. They're going to walk right off the cliff. So this person came forward with false information saying it's going to help him win his case. In the past, they were investigating this judge in case it was this judge that got picked. They found some money issues, or they found something that they think they can prove about her that's financial, that she's bought and paid for. But the problem is that the person that brought this information got it from another person who's crazy. It's a horrible chain of custody of craziness and idiocy. The lesson to be learned is, if you don't know the sources of your data, you shouldn't take that data. That's what that's telling me. And there we go again. And that's the thing that he thinks he's got in his back pocket. And underneath it is the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, 2 Queen cards here. Yeah, they think that Queen of Pentacles is like something they think is really valuable, or of practical value that they've been sitting on, involving her and money. Her and money in payments and stuff like that. So whatever it is that he thinks he has on her, it has money. But this was brought to him by somebody who's a false friend, who got it from somebody who's like some QAnon fool idiot. They think it's going to help him win his battles. But the problem is that if you don't have a good trace of your sources, it's not going to do any good. I'm not going to get rid of her. Okay, so don't lose too much sleep over whatever nefarious things he's got going on. And it may be we never hear about it and I'm completely and utterly wrong with this. But in case I'm not, that'll be wildly interesting, won't it? Have to rely on Brenda Smart to timestamp my video to say, hey, he predicted this at the 20-minute mark on this video on this date. All right. So Trump's sitting on that. Anything else? Will Trump, I know he's going to violate it. I mean, how can he not violate it? What's going to happen next if Trump violates this? What happens to him next? Doesn't look like he's going to be fined this time. I think I predicted he was going to be fined. Didn't happen this time. What happens if he violates it next? There's your fine. He violates it next, he gets a fine. The judge is going to be really disappointed and betrayed. How could you do this? I told you specifically not to talk about this, and you did it anyway. There's a Queen of Wands, so that Queen of Wands in that past thing is representing the judge and the actions that she takes. I told you not to do that. You disappointed me. You went and did it anyways. We had an agreement. Oh, these cards line up really nicely. There'll be a fine. We had an agreement. I thought everything was kosher. It clearly wasn't. You're paying. And okay, so if that's a fine next time, so if he violates it again, expect he's going to get a fine. I know, that's disappointing. We all want to see him thrown in prison, right? Okay. What will be the warning after he pays the fine? Right, because that's going to be the next step. And I think, understand that while this is excruciating to us, she's trying to treat him like any other defendant. So she's being even. I want to use the analogy about a double-edged sword. So she can't just chop him off at the knees and then say, every other defendant, I'm just treating you like every other defendant. If she says she's going to treat him like every other defendant, she has to treat him like every other defendant. So if he violates the conditions, she doesn't necessarily throw every other defendant in prison. She might fine him first to get their attention. So if the fine doesn't work, what's the next thing she'll do? Oh, this could be a problem. Sorrow and disappointment. I don't think guilting and shaming him would work. The first thing that came to mind was, I can't believe I have to do this. Like, actually incarcerate you. A little time out there. It's like 3. Spend a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the timeout square. Maybe it'll change your perspective on things and bring a stop to the behavior. Underneath it, oh God, could you imagine? When I first saw the 6 of coins, I was thinking, another fine? No, that's not going to do it. And a bigger fine wouldn't do it. But could you imagine? Instead of incarceration, she makes him do 72 hours of community service work. He has to go to a soup kitchen and pour out soup to people. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. You'd like to think that something like that might open his eyes to other people's suffering, but Donald Trump is not that kind of person. Oh God, that would be hilarious, though. Can you imagine Donald Trump being forced to do, picking up garbage on the roadside? All the people that had the DUIs. That would be perfect. pick up garbage on the roadside, or work for a living, or work and do something positive for a change. On a chain gang with 24 guys that have basically, they have had DUIs or something along those lines. Secret Service could be out there making sure he's protected, on a roadway that's not particularly well traveled or something along those lines. Oh, that would be amazing. That would be even better than money. It would be good PR for him too, It's too bad that might be something as part of a judgment against him. Okay, if it's not that, there's what would happen. Oh, you know what? I have to throw on that some more, because what that's saying is if he violated again, she would be sorrowful. And it's like, I gave you a chance. That 6 of coins would be, I gave you a chance. So then you have the 3 of pentacles in there that was underneath there. And I think that's going to be working behind the scenes. Again, that could be home confinement. That 3 of coins would be like being shut down. You've gone black. I should have put those cards away. I'd have to reverse the tape here to see what it was. Let's see. So what would it be? You have a new idea. The world. Yep, there's that thing. She'd have to come up with a new suggestion of something that would rock his world a little bit and really get his attention. And we get the world's attention too, affecting Trump. It's not answering. Okay, so I think he might get detention the next time, just to get his opinion. That 3 of coins on that last reading would indicate to me, it'd be like, picture 72 hours of home confinement. 72 hours where he's not in the news cycle. He's not allowed to post anything on social media or anything along those lines. Now, I know the folks saying, well, his kids could do it or other people could do it. Yeah, anything that was officially associated with Donald Trump, like the True Social account or his X account, that would be shut down. And the order would probably also say, they don't want the Trump campaign, the Elect Trump campaign, to post anything about the case. They could post other things, like, if he's got a rally coming up and you want to pimp that, go for it. But don't talk about the case. But they would put Donald Trump in a box, a timeout box. And no interviews, no phone calls, no nothing. 72 hours, you're going to be in isolation. That's the early prediction. But I think right now she's trying to come up with what will happen. She's already thinking about, what will I do if he violates this? And I guess it depends on how quickly and how severely he violates the orders. But she will come up with another idea fairly quickly. Okay. So that's my reading of Judge Chutkan and her assessment of Donald violating the terms of the agreement regarding discussing this case and what future things might be in store for him. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for all the support you've given my channel, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.